and you could leave your wings on the table. Military aviators looked forward to a physical exam about as much as they looked forward to an in-flight engine fire. We didn't want "failed" on any document concerning anything that came out of a flight surgeon's office. I had known pilots who would secretly visit a civilian off-base doctor for some malady rather than bring it to the attention of a flight surgeon. This had been strictly forbidden, but the only crime was to get caught. I employed the same logic on the flight to Houston for this medical test. In an act of incredible naivete, the docs at NASA had asked us to hand-carry our medical records from our home bases. This was akin to trusting a politician with a ballot box. As the miles passed, I pulled out pages I felt could generate questions I didn't want to answer. In particular, I pulled out references to the severe whiplash I had suffered during an ejection from an F-111 fighter bomber a year earlier. During that incident, my helmet-weighted head had snapped around as if it had been on the tip of a cracking bullwhip. My neck had been badly hyperextended. After a week of wearing a neck brace, the Eglin Air Force Base, AFB doctors, returned me to flight, but I wondered how the neck injury would be viewed by NASA's docs. Certainly it wouldn't help me. It was the type of questionable injury that could draw a disqualified stamp on my application. In all likelihood, there would be 199 other applicants without a history of neck injuries. I wasn't going to take a chance. I liberated the offending pages from my files, planning to reinsert them on the return flight. I had one very slim chance of getting selected as an astronaut. I wasn't going to let a little thing like a felony get in the way. I would alter official government records and, like countless other aviators before, hope I didn't get caught. Yes, I was going to give this astronaut selection my best shot. I inserted the enema and squeezed the bulb. I was determined when the NASA proctologist looked up my ass, he would see pipes so dazzling he would ask the nurse to get his sunglasses. "Hold for 5 minutes," read the instruction on the dispenser. Screw that, was my thought. That milquetoast civilian who had failed his clean-out had probably blown his load at the first contraction. I would hold my enema for 15 minutes. I would hold it until it migrated into my esophagus. I clamped my sphincter closed, gritted my teeth, and endured bowel contraction after bowel contraction until I thought I would black out. Finally, I blasted the colonic into the toilet. I repeated the process a second time. "Do not repeat more than twice," the label warned. Yeah, right. With the title of astronaut on the line, the warning could have read, "Do not repeat more than twice, death may result," and I would still have ignored it. I grabbed a third enema and then a fourth. The waste of my last purge was as clear as gin. I walked from the proctologist like a first grader carrying a gold star on a homework assignment. He had commented several times he had never seen a colon so well prepared. That I didn't shit for the next 2 weeks was a price I was willing to pay. And no, the civilian who had failed his prep wasn't selected. Next up was the interview by a NASA psychiatrist. I wondered about this. I had never spoken to a psych in my life. Was there a pass-fail criterion? I considered myself mentally well-balanced, a strange self-assessment, given I had just set a world record for holding an enema in a paranoid quest to secure a job. But how did a psych measure mental stability? Would he be watching my body language? Would a twitch of my eye, a pulsating neck vein, or a bead of sweat mean something? Something bad? In desperation, I searched my memory for what Carrying the Fire had revealed about early astronaut psych evaluations. All I could recall was that they had been given a completely blank piece of paper to interpret, and that one astronaut had suggested it looked like